Two of the most beloved characters in the series were in the international poll. Zoro plays second and Sanji plays fourth. Most of the time, if Zoro's your favorite character, you hate Sanji and vice versa. Now personally, I love both. I like Zoro a little bit more because he's more flashy. However, I like Sanji for the things he does behind the scenes. Whenever the two are together, that's when they are at their best, and usually that's whenever the community can put aside their differences and actually acknowledge how great the duo can be. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that out of the way, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's see who's the better character. Is it Zoro or Sanji? So how did the rivalry start? It's a bit sad that I have to address this, but it's actually a comedic rivalry between the two. The amount of times I've seen people all like, oh, I don't like Sanji or I don't like Zoro because they actually hate each other. That's not the case, because when push comes to shove, they're always there for each other and believe in each other. But the rivalry, it started in Little Garden whenever Zoro said he catch animals that Sanji could never catch, and ever since then they've constantly competed against each other. This is supposed to parallel Dory and I believe Groggy, the two giants that were on Little Garden. Their introductions have paved the way towards their character development. For Zoro, he started out being tied up, almost about to die, where Himeppo, he was about to go against his promise, and then he was saved by Luffy. Where Zoro at first he was like, nah, I ain't gonna become a pirate, but then after seeing Luffy and his tenacity, he decided to become a pirate, and he said, hey, I'll let you become king of the pirates, I'll be the swordsman of your crew, but if you get in the way of my ambition, I'll have you commit harakiri, which is basically the samurai way of killing yourself. Where Luffy says, hey, well, I need no less from the greatest swordsman to be on the King of the Pirates crew. Where now we see that Zoro is willing to put aside his own goals and throw away his life for Luffy, and is willing to swallow his pride for the sake of someone else. Sanji's a little bit different because he was influenced by both Zoro and Luffy. Sanji was more passive about his dream and acknowledging what he really wanted. It took seeing Zoro versus Mihawk and Luffy versus Krieg for him to understand why chasing dreams are important. We saw how Luffy, he was tenacity and how he was going in and wouldn't give up until Krieg was killed, and acknowledge, well, not killed because Luffy doesn't kill, but acknowledge that that's his goal and that he has to surpass all these pirates in order to become the king. And the biggest thing with him and Zoro's interaction was that he got to see how strong Zoro's resolve was in person, that Zoro wasn't all talk, because Zoro, he stated that when he went out to sea, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest swordsman, meaning he'd rather die than fail, which was proven when Mihawk said and was about to go attack him, and Zoro, he turned around saying, scars on the sword's back, it's a shame. And then he also said if he pulled out when Mihawk stabbed him with the butter knife, that, well, I feel like my dream, my resolve would die here. And Mihawk said, hey, this man, he really wants to be the world's strongest swordsman, that he's willing to die. So Sanji was able to understand what it means to have strong resolve towards going towards your dream. One thing that is very similar but also different at the same time is how the two treat women. Sanji's the type of man who would rather die than hit a woman, while Zoro, he's more of a person who likes equality between the two. However, he does have a soft spot when it comes to women and children, stated by Sanji himself. There are things that he does and doesn't want to cut, and both they have respect for women and children, but also have a soft spot for them. Even though the two bicker like little children, they have massive respect for each other. There are plenty of examples of this in this series, but the best instances include during Zao and Thriller Bark. With this scene, nothing happened. After Sanji figured out what happened, the two people they wanted to tell the rest of the crew, they're like, hey, let's tell him the heroic man that Zoro is. Let's tell him what he did. Where Sanji, he stopped them there and he intervened. He stated that Zoro, he didn't do any of this for recognition, for pride, or anything to boost his ego, hence why he wanted to do it in a place separated from everyone else. So don't go and tell people of what his sacrifice was and leave it at that. Then on Zao, when they were talking to Peckums and Master Cat Viper or Nekomamushi, Luffy decided that he was going to go to Whole Cake Island, and Zoro was outside listening, where he showed concern for Sanji, and Luffy was teasing him, and Zoro was like, shut up or I'll kick you in that instance. So they both have massive respect for each other, and they actually do care and worry about each other from time to time. In terms of strength, both of them are strong and are fit to be Luffy's wings to help him soar. The order, it goes Zoro and then Sanji, but I think Sanji's the closest he's ever been to Zoro at the point in the series as of chapter 129. We still haven't gotten Zoro's power up yet, but Luffy Zoro and Sanji, they are proper in order to make Luffy king of the pirates. But one of my favorite scenes was in Zao when Sanji, he said that he was worth, or they said that Sanji was worth 1,000 men, and Zoro, you know, he's a little bit competitive. He had to say that he's worth 2,000 because, like I said, we know Zoro is stronger, but Sanji's pretty darn close. I want to give the two their recognition that they deserve, because currently in the manga, they're both fighting against the two strongest commanders that Kaido has to offer in Queen and in King, holding their own against men with over 1 billion bounties. I think King, he has the highest known bounty of the first commander, so over Marco and over Katakuri. And I know that bounties don't mean strength, but that just means King is pretty darn dangerous. Zoro, he's gained Enma and proved that he could keep up with the speed and strength of Yonko's, wreaking havoc on the rooftop, where you could argue he had more or equal the impact that Luffy did while he was on the rooftop. And Sanji, he now awakened his German powers with his exoskeleton. He's now bulletproof. He can break blades without having to use Haki. We saw against Judge, when Judge tried to attack him, that Sanji used Haki in order to block the blade, and it hurt him. And we know that Sanji, he's strong, but we don't know how much stronger he'll be with the raid suit plus the exoskeleton plus the Diablo Jamba. So Sanji, his ceiling gets really high. But the way that Oda portrays the two characters is that Zoro, he's more of a flashy character, while Sanji flourishes going behind the scenes. Zoro is more popular because people love swordsmen in anime. Gintoki, Kenshi, Ichigo, Urza, a lot of swordsmen, where we don't necessarily have kicking style fighters in anime. It's more martial artists. I guess you could put Sanji in that category, but the fact that Zoro's a swordsman and he has the 3-sword style, he's very unique. He's also beloved because how much of a badass he is, where he has the nothing happens scene, him cutting Pika, his interaction with Monet, cutting Killer, and so much more. Then we have Sanji. His character takes a complete 180 because while Zoro flourishes in being flashy, Sanji's character is at its best whenever he's in the shadows. The best example comes from when he uses Raid Suit to save Momonosuke, and how he was able to sneak past the commanders while the commotion was going on. I believe this is supposed to be animated within the next 2 weeks, so I'm sorry it's not going to be on here. But Zoro's like the sun, which we pay a lot of attention to because it shines brightly and we're awake throughout the day, so we see it more. And Sanji's like the moon, which shines just as brightly, but we don't pay much attention to because it's usually when we're asleep and it's through the night. Whenever they work together, that's when both characters are at their best. These two are like hot oil mixed with water, but at the same time, that's with their communities. Both of them love Zoro, very passionate about him. Both of them love Sanji, passionate about it. But when both the community and Zoro and Sanji put their differences aside, whenever they're hyping up Luffy versus King and Queen, Fishman Island, Sanji during the Onigashima raid, Zoro during Dressrosa, different movies, you name it, that's when they're at their best. That's when we love them the most. And even the animators love them teaming up together so much because their scene against the groggy monsters, that was reanimated. To conclude, these two need each other. Zoro can't cook like Sanji, and Sanji can't lead people as well as Zoro. If you want more of a flashy character, someone who gets a lot of attention with more badass moments, someone that you want to aspire to or get inspired by, then Zoro's your guy. But if you like a character that's more story heavy, written better, well, I guess writing is subjective, written in a different light, I guess is a better terms, and works from behind the scene and is more of a relatable character, then Sanji's that guy. But both are really good characters, but I personally prefer Zoro a little bit more than I do Sanji. But let me know who you guys like more in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.